Many people use video games to indulge their intrusive thoughts, from drowning someone in Red Dead Redemption to shooting a room full of people in Hitman. We are spoilt for choice, so I decided to try and beat Fallout New Vegas as a psychopath. Now the rule for this run is a simple one. Every time I enter dialogue with any character, I have to kill them, with the exception of Yes Man, as he can't be killed. Let's get started. As Doc Mitchell performs a medical exam on me, I don't think he realises what he's just unleashed on the Mojave. I name my character, give her hair redder than the fires of hell, and before I show you what skills I went for, I'm going to tell you that the build I'm going for in this run is a versatile one. I'm going to be using all manner of weapons and tactics. In the end, I decided to go with these specials. Now you might be saying, Moosey, you idiot. Why are you going for 9 charisma when you have to kill all the people you talk to anyway? Well, Minnie might be a serial killer, but she also has mad riz. I'm never saying that again. For my tag skills, I go with guns, because
This is America.
medicine, because I'm going to get into a lot of fights, and sneak, so I can at least get some stealth criticals to help me along the way. And once again, I pick Wild Wasteland as my perk. The good doctor gives me some stuff and sends me on my merry way. But before I leave, I jam my machete into his neck. Next I head to the Good Springs Saloon so I can do the tutorial with Sunny to get some XP. I help her take out some geckos, then I stab her, cut her body up, and dump it in the water reservoir because I know how much the other townsfolk will miss her. So this way, they will always have a little piece of her inside them forever. Then whilst on my way to Prim, this NCR idiot signs his own death warrant by trying to warn me about the situation in the town. So I cut him down to size. I head inside the Vicky and Vance and get some information from Johnson Nash. Killed him, murdered my way through the Bison Steve Hotel, popped Beagle's head off, and grabbed his diary. As I approach Nipton, Oliver decides to brag about winning the lottery to me, so I roast his ass. Now I was genuinely going to leave the Legion alone in Nipton, because as a fellow deranged psycho, I can appreciate the effort they put in, but Volpes decided to talk to me, so I burned them all to a crisp. Then I head to Novak to get some information on where Benny went. I ask Jeannie, but she just tells me to speak to Manny, so I carve her like a Christmas turkey. Then when I speak to Manny, he won't tell me unless I do a favour for him. But I'm not about that life, so I give him death by 1,000 cuts. Loot the notes he has on Benny from his corpse. Then whilst I'm heading to Boulder City, Malcolm decides to sneak up on me and chat some absolute drivel about star caps. So as punishment for this, I blew his brains out. When I finally arrive, I shoot the war memorial to piss off Kowalski. And when he confronts me, I call his brother a bitch, then remove his head from his shoulders. Then when I try to enter the city, Lieutenant Monroe decides to tell me his life story. I shut him up for good, then the rest of the NCR troops gank me to death, and I turn into Elastigirl. I return the favour by ripping and tearing them, find out where Benny is from Jessup, and saw his face off. Then when I finally arrive at Freeside, I'm faced with 2 choices. I could either do some jobs for the king and get myself a passport into the strip from helping him, which in doing so means I'll have to kill every single member of the king's gang and Mick and Ralph. Or I could do some gambling at the Atomic Wrangler to get the caps for the credit check and be forced to kill everyone in the casino along with the cashier. In the end, I chose the first option, which turned out to be the stupidest decision I made so far, and soon you'll see why. I kill Oris for Elvis, then I have to go and speak to these 2 in the old Mormon fort. Then when I try to shoot them stealthily, all hell breaks loose, and I have to put down every single person in the fort. Then I go and take the NCR quiz, get the info from Lizzie, kill her and everyone inside the food bank, then put down the guy that chose to give me an exam because I'm too cool for school. Then I return to the king and tell him of my success. And this is where I royally screwed the pooch. I decided to take out all of the king's men and the man himself right after completing his quests, which not only took a painstakingly long time, but when I was done, I went to Mick and Ralphs and they instantly started attacking me, so I had to kill them. So now, even after all that, I'm forced to play some blackjack anyway. When I finally managed to get enough caps, I gunned down everyone inside the Wrangler and devoured their corpses. The main reason I took the cannibal perk in this run is because every time I buy stim packs, I'll have to kill the merchants that sold them to me, and eventually I'm going to run out of sources. Plus my evolution into the most feared and evil person in the Mojave wouldn't be complete without partaking in the flesh of my species. Then I head straight for the strip. Upon entering it, however, I get spoken to by Victor, but if you look closely, the name that's next to him says Securitron Mark 1. So technically this isn't Victor, it's just your run-of-the-mill Securitron. But there's no way for me to really tell which one it was that spoke to me because I'm an idiot and forgot. So later, I'm gonna have to kill all the Securitrons on the strip to make sure that I definitely got him. I entered the tops and was forced to put down all of Benny's guards like a homicidal maniac after the receptionist instantly spoke to me when I entered. Once the chaos dims down, I speak to Benny and use the Black Widow perk to get him alone in his room. then kindly redecorate it with his grey matter. I meet the only NPC that will ever love me, then when I leave the tops, I have the unfortunate situation of being spoken to by Discount Vulpes and this random NCR trooper. I take care of Wish.com Vulpes, then when I shoot the NCR troop, I get hounded by every NPC in the area. And because I'd run out of stim packs at this point, I started panicking when I was at low health, shot Sarah in the back of the head, and slept in a bed to get my health back. Then I took care of the Securitrons, and shortly after this I waltzed right into Mr. House's chamber and plunged a spear into his chest. I just wanted to cut out the middleman and kill him before I spoke to him because he deserves it. I scrapped the Securitron gatekeeper, next I went to Novak to grab that gun, and murdered Boom with it. He didn't speak to me, so this wasn't business, it was pleasure. After that, I arrive at Cottonwood Cove, show my mark of Caesar, blow the guy's head off that asked me for it, and because there's no honour among dickbags, none of the others seem to give a shit. When I arrive at Caesar's camp, I have to go and speak with the Humpty Dumpty looking ass to get access to the vault. Now, like I said before, at this point I was completely out of stim packs, so after killing the guy that gave me my weapons, I upgraded the Securitrons and had to come up with a plan of attack to take care of Caesar. Because once that bridge is crossed, every single Legion member in the area is going to come down on me like a ton of bricks. After dying over and over again, I eventually managed to lure them all into Caesar's bedroom and smash in their skulls with a ballistic fist. But that wasn't the end of it. Not by a long shot. The second I exit Caesar's tent, all the skirt-wearing yuppies converge on me. I spent the best part of an hour fixing their teeth, and because I like my steaks rare, I then chow down on them. Then return to Cottonwood Cove to finish the job, because the best way to get rid of a pest infestation is to destroy the nest. Plus, I net myself a chainsaw for my trouble. I return to the strip to have a nap at the Lucky 38, but when I arrive, old Ben decides to try and introduce himself to me just as I'm getting the shakes from Psycho withdrawal. So I channel my inner Leatherface and saw a hole in his chest. After my nap, I head to Nellis to meet the Boomers, and after being dragged to meet Pearl, I start my trail of destruction.
What's it?
But luckily for me, they were all hanging out in the mess hall, so I murdered every single one of them and stole some of their explosive ordnance. I dealt with the stragglers, drank out of a toilet like the bitch I am, then made my way to Red Rock and stumbled upon something that I've never found before, the Great Khan's armory. So I killed everyone inside and stole everything because you can never have enough ammunition. Then when I actually enter the canyon, the quest marks as completed for meeting the Great Khans, and I could have left them alone to live another day. But that wouldn't be fair on everyone else, would it? So I killed some drug dealers to steal their stash, then burst into Papa Khan's house, and before I start the slaughter, I have a chat with him, so that before his life is forfeit, he can at least have one last conversation. Then I crack his skull open like an egg, grab Veronica so I can get into the Brotherhood Bunker, initiate the self-destruct, and leave her in there to die. Then I head to the Ultralux and clear them out. You might think that with them being cannibals, I would have left them alone, but this Mojave isn't big enough for all of us. After this, I head to the Gomorrah to remove all the wannabe gangsters from existence, put the NCR at El Dorado into the Big Sleep, and activate the power. Then I head to Hoover Dam to end things once and for all. When I arrive though, it turns out that Veronica survived the explosion because she thinks she's the main character. So to prove to her that she isn't, I punched her so hard she exploded. I make my way through the dam with little resistance, and in the most anticlimactic ending ever, I destroyed Lanius in seconds by blowing him up with missiles. Generally got himself turned inside out, and with that, I beat Fallout New Vegas as a psychopath. I had so much fun playing through this run, because normally I'm restricted in how I can approach things in these playthroughs, but this one had almost total freedom in how I could deal with situations, and I could just let my hair down and have some fun being a complete psycho. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe? If there's a specific run you want to see me do, let me know in the comments. And I'll see you next time.